The Unusual Suspects. C'est le titre d'une série originale et réjouissante où des employés de maison venus des Philippines vont s'allier de manière plutôt inattendue avec leurs riches patronnes australiennes pour récupérer leur dû. Je ne vous en dis pas plus. Mais sous ses atours de comédie, la série aborde aussi des questions sociales, racisme ou lutte des classes. On en parle tout de suite avec son co-scénariste Von Patiag et deux de ses héroïnes, Miranda Otto et Aina Demlao.
What do you say?
When do we start?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Nothing brings people together like a little criminal conspiracy.
You've co-written The Unusual Suspects alongside Jessica Redenbach, who created the show. It's a genuine comedy, but it doesn't shy away from addressing racism, class politics, domestic violence. Was it hard to find the balance so these social issues would not overshadow the lightness and fun of the show?
Yeah, I think mixing the genre elements with our aims to be as culturally inclusive as possible with the Filipino community, it was a complete balancing act. Filipino culture itself is very repressed. You know, like we don't often talk about emotions, the way we verbalize things, we kind of skate around. Yeah, the genre elements really helped to bring out some of those more joyful, playful elements of Filipino culture too.
Yeah, I thought it was so smart to kind of force the wealthy bosses and us as an audience to witness the power dynamics switch through a heist.
We were kind of leaning into the stereotype a bit in the first episode with the setup, you know, the wealthy white woman with a Filipino domestic worker. But quickly, you know, we sort of switch the formula and we really stay with Evie and humanize her. And I think we get to go a bit behind the veil of her life as well. I think that's the power of the show. We really get to understand the sacrifices that they have to make being away from their family. A lot of these times, these women are holding their families together and supporting their families back home.
Why do you think it's okay to treat me this way, like I'm a person without a life?
I don't think that's fair.
Fair? What's fair? Are you fair? I'm the one who's here. I'm the one who stays, says thank you, smooths over. You're just ungrateful. You're mean to everyone. You act like I need to explain why I want the money I earned. I don't need to explain. You need to explain, why won't you pay me? Tell me.
Evie's role and Ami's role, those are groundbreaking in a sense that they just don't take what's given to them and not do anything about it. Then they learn how to speak up and stand up for themselves. And unfortunately, that's not common for Filipinos, especially since, you know, poverty is a big thing in the Philippines. So when you're living abroad and you're bringing in good money back, you're sending good money back to your family, you might not want to speak up and ruffle feathers and make your employers angry. This kind of like shows immigrants and domestic workers that you have power.
The heroines of the show, of The Unusual Suspects, are very different, and their partnership is very unexpected. What brings them together except for being women?
Without giving anything away, a lot of these women have been negatively affected by the men in their lives. They have men in their life that kind of sidestepped them or didn't really give them the value that they needed. So
I want a divorce.
Rox.
No. I want a man that fights for me. I need an equal to walk beside me, not someone who drags me down.
Do you feel the TV industry is still a little bit timid about producing shows with all-female leads, just like The Unusual Suspects is?
The reason that I kind of went into TV more was I felt like the roles were better for women in TV than they were a lot of the time in film, and that some of the more edgy writing and some of the more interesting topics were really being explored in TV, that writers were given a ticket to kind of be as niche-y as possible and explore things that are extreme in television that it seemed that in film they were too frightened to do.
Birdie just said we can't spend that money fast.
Oh, it doesn't apply to me.
And why not?
Because I'm rich, Evie. No one knows where I get my money from.
Sarah Beasley, whom you play in The Unusual Suspects, is, I was about to say unlikable, but she's actually pretty awful.
I know that when I first read it, when I first started reading, I was like, oh my gosh, she's really, you know, the bad lady in here, in this story. You know?
I had such a big day with the Americans. Just help me get dinner on the table. If we do it together, it'll only take a minute.
But then as it goes on, she sort of has to become a part of the gang. And my thing was like, why will they accept her? And what does she bring that is in any way likable? And to me, in the end, it was kind of her crazy kind of gung-ho thing about just jumping into anything that kind of made her interesting. She kind of has more self-revelation about who she actually is, and she has a bit of a wake-up through the show.
I don't think we've properly met. I'm Sarah.
I'm Ami.
Thank you. Oh, and this is Evie, my nanny.
No, we know each other.
Very well.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's not a lot of representation when it comes to Filipino immigrants in mainstream media. So when I first saw that, and given that it's a heist, I'm like, wait, is this real? It's a comedy. There's a little bit of drama, but it's like such a fun, entertaining piece that I've never seen a Filipino nanny, a Filipino immigrant, or a Filipino actor be put in that space. So that was, to this day, it's kind of like one of those pinch me moments. It's like such a spectacular experience.
The show has Filipino characters from very different backgrounds with quite different stories. As a writer and producer of Filipino descent yourself, how much of your own experience did you get to infuse in it?
I always say that my mum is in every character I create. She is a fantastic woman of a million stories. For example, Roxanne.
I'm on to you,
I got really influenced by where my mom came from, which is Tondo, a slum area of Manila, where, you know, the women there grow up very resilient, very strong, very aggressive, because it's survival on the streets. And Roxanne coming to Australia brings that same acumen to her business. So she's a very fierce woman.
The fire's out, and no one is going anywhere until the police arrive. We've been robbed!
You'd be stupid enough to steal from Roxanne Waters.
Do you reckon the TV industry in Australia is actively invested in telling stories from a non-white point of view?
It's finally happening. I feel like the winds of change are finally, you know, blowing the way of Asians, but not yet too much for Filipinos.
Let's do this thing.
We shouldn't wait for other people to kind of like give us the roles and the projects that we need to be in. It's up to Filipino filmmakers and Filipino actors to kind of like help crack the door open by creating our own projects.
Hello.
That's one of us.
I'm Jordan. I feel like we've met before.
Yes, I work for you.
She's your cleaner, for Christ's sakes.
It's been such an honor being part of Unusual Suspects because it feels like such groundbreaking representation in our landscape. I think producers and the industry as a whole can really learn from the models that we've created. And I hope it encourages people to experiment and work with different people, work with different teams, and yeah, just see who's out there telling stories.
I would look after you forever, if I could. This is better. It's not you looking after me. It's us doing something together.
I'm really glad that in the show that it shows a lot of different Filipino women in different circumstances. It's not just one kind of archetype of people who are being nannies and housekeepers, that, you know, you also got someone like Roxanne, who's created her own business. Then you also have characters like Gigi, who's, you know, from a more affluent background in the Philippines. So I liked the fact that, you know, there was all kinds of different backgrounds.
God, I am so sick of this story. How it's my fault when all I did was work hard and build a life here.
Lady, you sell duck lips to women you hate. Your husband is a thief. You're gonna end up looking after that old bruja when he's in jail. Roxanne, your life sucks!
Je suis Clémentine Gallot, journaliste et rédactrice en chef du podcast Quoi, meuf.
Je m'appelle Christelle Murhula et je suis journaliste indépendante.
Are y'all good? Shall we?
Insecure, c'est la chronique sous forme de comédie des errances de Issa.
Qui est une jeune femme noire de 30 ans qui cherche sa voie professionnelle, qui cherche sa voie amoureuse et qui a aussi des petits problèmes amicaux.
You know what? This weekend is supposed to be for us. So let's not talk about any mess. Let's not talk about Molly's mess. Let's not talk about Issa's messy mess.
Insecure, moi, c'est une série qui me fait du bien parce que j'ai l'impression de me voir à l'écran. Au-delà même du fait que c'est une série avec un casting à grande majorité noir, c'est que je vois les problèmes de Issa, donc, qui est le personnage principal. Elle a des problèmes qui sont tout à fait normaux. C'est ça qui la rend aussi attachante.
Oh, look, nigga. Guess you're still single. Couldn't find another bitch to make your toes tingle. Hot shit!
Insecure, c'est une comédie générationnelle comme on en fait beaucoup, donc sur les errances de la vingtaine, de la trentaine. Elle vient combler un manque assez criant puisque le public afro-américain a été très sous-estimé, très mal servi aux États-Unis.
I don't know that I'm on the right path. To be honest, there's no way to be sure you've made the right choice. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and realize that I've wasted all my time. And that's time I can't really get back.
Là, on a de la diversité dans la diversité, c'est-à-dire qu'on voit qu'il y a une diversité dans la féminité noire.
Exactement, il n'y a pas ces stéréotypes de la angry black woman, donc la femme noire en colère, ou la femme noire qui est là juste pour faire rire. Elles sont toutes très complexes et c'est ça qui est cool dans cette série, c'est qu'on peut s'identifier à toutes ces femmes.
We love you, Kelly Prenny, and you will always live with us forever. Kelly.
To Kelly.
Oh, I love y'all.
Y'all are doing a lot.
J'avais l'impression que dans les 4 premières saisons, elles tentaient de grandir, mais à chaque fois, elles retombaient dans leurs travers, que ce soit leurs travers amoureux ou leurs travers professionnels ou surtout amicaux. Et là, dans cette saison 5, en tout cas dans le début de cette saison 5, on les voit vraiment évoluer, on les voit grandir. On voit que Issa, elle a en quelque sorte trouvé sa voie professionnelle, ce qui a été un long chemin.
No, I actually started my own company. I'll see you, CEO, right? It's called The Block. Black Life, Opportunity, fuck. Maybe I should write it on my hand. I'll get it.
Et surtout, elle laisse une part de son histoire amoureuse derrière elle.
Should we?
Lawrence, I had a chance to think and
Justement, on espère voir Issa enfin arriver, peut-être pas à une forme de succès conventionnel, mais en tout cas, soit un accomplissement personnel ou en tout cas une forme d'harmonie ou d'équilibre.
I mean, I don't know, you tell me. I thought I was pretty good up there.
C'est la dernière saison et cette série va vraiment me manquer parce que je me suis attachée à ces personnages comme je pourrais m'attacher à des amis. C'est mon petit doudou, quoi.
Insecure, c'est une très belle série introspective qui va beaucoup nous manquer.
Si je devais décrire Insecure, je dirais qu'elle est aussi familière qu'exceptionnelle.
Bitch, you still mad?
Bitch, you still tripping?
My girlfriend! She don't get off of me.
Est-ce que vous avez une série, Madeleine?
J'ai La Petite Maison dans la prairie. J'ai appris la morale avec ça, je crois. J'adorais parce que c'est lorsque je rentrais de l'école, je mangeais avec ma mère et on regardait toujours ça. Et t'avais toujours un épisode où tu rigolais un jour et le lendemain, t'avais un épisode où tu pleurais. Mais je regardais ma mère qui était comme ça. Et j'ai fait, tu pleures, maman, elle était toujours, mais non, n'importe quoi. Les personnages étaient tellement attachants, même Henriette, en fait. Même la résilience de certains persos. Alors oui, c'est très manichéen, mais tu te faisais attraper tout le temps.
À la semaine prochaine pour encore plus de séries. Ciao!